On today's Primetime Local News, the Lloydminster and District Health Advisory Council is looking for local feedback.
Most of all, I want to get the public to come out that are interested in health matters.
And a well-known business in the border city opened the doors to their new location.
Primetime Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Now taking a look at some local stories, the Lloydminster District Health Advisory Council is looking for local residents to stop by and discuss local health issues at a special meeting May 18th. The meeting will be held at the Legacy Center, and instead of featuring speeches from the Health Advisory Council, it will be a drop-in style event where people can come and go while giving their feedback.
At some point or another, even if you're healthy, it's good to know what's going on in your community, and we're hoping to be able to exchange a lot of information as to what we've been working on, but also to hear from people who might be missing, think that want to know what are we working on or have on our priority list, and maybe we're missing some things.
This is the first time the Health Advisory Council has held a meeting like this, and Riche says it doesn't happen often in other centers.
I suspect that we're probably the only advisory council across Canada that might have something like this, so it'll be really interesting and a bit of a risk, because if no one shows, we all fall flat on our face, and it'll tell the health authorities that we really don't care.
Since we are between two provinces, it presents some unique challenges to our healthcare system. Current doctor shortages in the region and issues with the transferring of files can take a toll on the care delivered. Riche hopes this can provide the information they need.
We'll have opportunity to have written information. We'll have some simple survey information, and a place to write testimonials, if you will, or write down their concerns on paper. So then we at least have an ability to then analyze those and distribute that as we have time to collate the information.
The meeting will take place May 18th between 7 to 10 p.m. There's optimism in Lloydminster's business community as the local jewelry store enters a new era with a new standalone location. The mayor was on hand for the ribbon cutting of the new Richardson's Jewelry location at the corner of 44th Street and 54 Avenue beside Lloyd Mall. Staff say they appreciate the support they've received over the decades, especially during the pandemic. Instead of holding a grand opening sale, Richardson's will be putting on a silent auction supporting the Lloydminster Region Health Foundation.
The mall was so good to us for 42 years, but we just decided that we needed to get our own space, and when Tim Hortons that was here decided that they would leave, it was a great opportunity, and we just jumped on it right away, and we just like being here. We have double the space.
Mayor Albers is excited to see the newly transformed space. He says the business environment is heading in the right direction in 2022, pointing to an increase in building permits, job postings, and housing sales.
I think that we're seeing an increase in business licenses, which is a tremendous first step, right? We're seeing confidence in people to invest in businesses, be it home-based businesses, be it startup businesses, as well as the continuation of businesses.
The silent auction wraps up on Saturday. Now our Shelby Clark will take a look at our windy day temperatures.
Thanks so much, Jasmine. Yes, taking a first look at your weather forecast here in the border city. We are seeing still a warm day, but definitely feeling a lot cooler with that wind chill right now. We are seeing some very strong winds outside, so please be careful if you're walking outside whatsoever. Even driving is a little bit rough out there, because with all the dust and all the dirt and everything getting kicked up and blowing everywhere, you will be getting a lot of that in your eyes and whatnot. So make sure you are being careful, and we are sitting at 11 degrees right now. Seeing some precipitation start up, and we will be seeing a risk of a thunderstorm later on in the evening as well. Switching now to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, we are still seeing some double-digit temperatures temperatures on the map in some spots here. Down in Provost and over in Edmonton, they are just at that 13-degree mark. Marwayne and Wainwright are just hitting 10, 11 up in Lac La Biche, while it's 12 degrees in St. Paul, 16 and 19 in both Bonnyville and Cold Lake, and Vermilion and Vegreville are seeing those single digits at 8 and 9 degrees. Switching now to our Saskatchewan side, they are seeing double digits for sure, definitely looking a little bit warmer compared to the Alberta side. 14 up in Isle La Crosse, while it's 22 even in Meadow Lake and Green Lake there. 17 in Pearceland, while St. Walburg is just hitting 19. Maidstone is a degree cooler there at 18, and North Battleford and Macklin both at 16 degrees. And for North Battleford, overnight they will be going down to a low of that 3-degree mark, so they will be cooling down quite a bit, but still seeing that plus temperature for their evening low. Then tomorrow they'll be seeing 17, so warming up a little bit for the day tomorrow with a mix of some sun and cloud, and they will see that precipitation end off in the evening there. Cold Lake will go down to 3 degrees for their evening low as well. They will be seeing that precipitation start up in their evening, but then it will stop overnight, and they will be seeing 11 for their Saturday, and with a mix of some sun and clouds, so hopefully they'll see a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds. And for us in the border city here, we'll be going down to a low of 4 degrees. So we will be seeing a nice warm evening, and that precipitation will stop later on in the evening, but we will be seeing a risk of a thunderstorm, so please be careful. It might be coming up here. And then tomorrow we will be seeing 15 throughout the day, seeing a little bit warmer of a day for our weekend. And I just want to add in here, we are seeing the end of our Mother's Day contest now, so you cannot submit any more, but stay tuned please, and thank you to everyone that submitted to our Facebook page. And stay tuned because we will be picking our final winner at the end of the hour. That's all I got for now. We'll have more coming up after the break. Thanks so much again, Miss Jasmine King. Now taking another look at your weather forecast. Yes, we will be looking at temperatures around the regions and of the provinces here, and we will be starting off with the central zone of Alberta and Saskatchewan. And on the Alberta side, we are seeing some warmer temps. A little bit lower than that 20-degree mark than what we were seeing yesterday, but we are still seeing those double digits, so still quite warm. Athabasca is probably the coolest there, sitting at that 9-degree mark, and then we start to warm up from there with Edmonton and Whitecourt just hitting 13, 14, 15 in Jasper and Edson, while the 17 and 18 in Rocky Mountain House and Red Deer. And going over to our Saskatchewan side here, they are seeing slightly warmer temperatures compared to the Alberta side, with them even reaching past that 20 mark in some spots, 20 in Prince Albert and Saskatoon, while Middle Lake has reached past at that 22 mark, 19 in Cold Lake, while there's 15 and 16 in Melford and North Battleford. So they are seeing some slightly warmer temperatures than what we would expect. And going over to our northern zone, they are definitely seeing warmer temperatures than what we would expect. Even compared early on in the week, they were cooled down quite a bit temperature-wise. 11 degrees in both Buffalo Narrows and La Loche. South End has just hit that 10 mark. 12 in La Ronge, while 16 in Flin Flon. So Flin Flon is looking a lot warmer compared to the rest. 7 in both Wolston Lake and Stony Rapids. And Uranium City is slightly cooler, just hitting 4. And going over back to our Alberta side here, they are seeing those single-digit temperatures, so looking a lot cooler compared to the Saskatchewan side over in this zone. Most spots are seeing 7 degrees right now at the moment. 6 degrees in Grand Prairie, while it's 8 in Slave Lake, and Fort Chipewyan is looking cooler at that 2-degree point. Going over to our southern zone now, they are seeing some nice warm temperatures, kind of matching with us in the central zone as well. Medicine Hat has just reached that 20 mark, while the 16, 17 in Calgary and Lethbridge. Coronation is just hitting 14, and Banff is looking the coolest there at that 11 mark. And going over to this end here now, they are seeing some warmer temperatures past that 20 point. So they are looking warmer compared to the Alberta side. 21 in Swift Current, while it is 22, 23 in Regina and Estevan. Moose Jaw is looking the warmest at 24 degrees, and Kindersley is just at that 19 mark. So they are seeing some warmer temperatures than what we would expect from what they were seeing yesterday. And going back across the region, the same what we will expect throughout our evening and throughout our night for most spots. I think we will be seeing still quite warm temperatures for sure for our evening lows. We won't be catching those double-digit marks that we were seeing the night before, but we are all still past that plus degree point. Provost will be seeing a low of that 2 mark, while most spots will be seeing a low of that 3 mark. Paradise Hill and Pearson will be seeing a low of 4 degrees. Wainwright and Meadow Lake will be seeing a low of 5, and Isle of Cross will be expecting to see a low of 6. So we won't be seeing those double digits as I was saying, but we will be seeing still quite warm temperatures than what we are used to. And Pearson and Meadow Lake will also both be seeing that high chance of some precipitation starting up in their evening. And for us here in the Border City, for our 3-day forecast, we will be seeing 15 tomorrow for our weekend with a mix of some sun and clouds. So still moderately warm temperatures for our weekend here. Sunday we'll see that 12-degree mark, so still seeing those double digits heading off into next week. And then Monday starting off next week, we will be starting off quite strong, not as warm as we've been seeing, but still double digits at 11 degrees and seeing a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds. That's all I got for now. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
I'm happy to be joined today on Primetime Local News by Royal Wood. Royal, you're coming to Lloydminster here soon. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
It is absolutely my pleasure. Yeah, thanks, Stacey.
Well, let's talk about the single that you are releasing Friday. It's a remake of the song Tainted Love, classic soft cell song. One of my favorites from the 80s. It's always on every playlist. Why did you choose that song to release as a single?
You know, it wasn't my plan to release it as a single. I was just experimenting in my studio during one of the lockdowns, couldn't tour, and my record was done. And I was just making music for the sake of making music. And I ended up messing around with that song and I fell in love with it. And then it just took on a life of its own. The publisher heard it, the label heard it, and everyone's like, you should put this out into the world. So here we are.
Can you give us a little bit of a hint? Is it basically staying true to the original, or did you put your own twist on it?
Oh, I put my own twist on it. Yeah, I wouldn't have put it into the world if it wasn't at least genuinely me. But of course, I also tipped my cap and made sure that I still respected the original.
Well, tell me about the tour that you're on now. How many dates are you doing, and is it a cross Canada tour or just a smaller tour? How many venues are you playing?
Yeah, this is very much a rural Saskatchewan tour with a couple Alberta dates near the end. It's 17 or 18 dates across Saskatchewan and into Alberta. And it was something that actually was scheduled before the pandemic happened in 2020. And it just took us this long to finally get it to happen, get the doors open, which was perfect timing because now I have a new record coming this fall and all the proper touring with the band and crew will happen, including, headlining Massey Hall and National Arts Center and stuff. And this just gives us a chance to get our sea legs back. That's for sure.
Well, let's talk about playing now. How is it different than before the pandemic? Is it a lot, more regulations and such, or are you kind of basically almost back to normal?
No, definitely not back to normal. Certainly all the venues have still pretty strict protocols, masking with crew, and some of the venues still have like vaccine proof of passport or at least like negative COVID test. Depends on the city and their rules. We're definitely traveling in a bit of a bubble and staying that way. And I definitely don't go to the merch table after the show like I usually would, because normally I would mingle, with hundreds of people and take photos and sign things and all that kind of stuff. But my wife and I just had our second child. So we've had 2 kids in the last 2 years. George is only 2 months old, and obviously he's not vaccinated, and he hasn't had COVID or anything yet. So we're trying to keep everyone safe and just doing our best.
Well, tell me about the record you talked about that's going to be coming out here. I guess old school, I'm saying record, but not quite the format that everybody uses these days. But what can we expect when that's released?
Well, I'm glad you said record, Stacey, because I still am a firm believer in the power of the album. And I definitely set out to make a record, and I didn't set out to make a single. So this is very much a record from start to finish. And it's, 12 songs, and that's the way I wanted it. I wrote majority of it myself, but I wrote and recorded it all over the world, in the UK and Los Angeles, a bunch of stuff in Toronto, some stuff in Montreal, but also had the privilege to write with an artist producer in Los Angeles named Linda Perry, who's done a lot of huge hits for people, as well as a guy named Jamie Scott out of the UK, who's also done ridiculous hits. And if you look up their credits online, it'll kind of blow your mind. So it was a lot of fun to work with them. And as well as I worked with a guy named Marcus Paquin, who worked with the National and a few other bands that I absolutely love. out of Montreal. So it was a labor of love for 2 years during the pandemic, and I did some remotely, and I traveled as much as I could, and I'm just proud to have it done.
Well, you're going to be here in Lloydminster on May 16th. So will we get a taste of some of the things that are songs that will be coming out on that record, or are you keeping that hush hush, most of them, until it's actually fully released?
That ended up being really the purpose of this tour, and why I ended up pushing it to now and scheduling it this far out before the record. Is it gives me a chance to try new songs and, you know, work on the banter and the stories and just the feel of it and the pace of it and set list. And I'm definitely playing new songs that will be on a record that no one's going to hear for a while. So that's actually why we called the tour the Behind the Curtain Tour, because I'm just letting people in.
Well, we really appreciate you speaking with us today. If anybody is looking to find out more about you and, you know, get information before the show here, what's the best way to find everything all in one place?
Well, everything social media is at Royal Wood. And then if you go to the website, which is royalwood.ca, then everything's listed there. You can see where to find me everywhere on socials, as well as the tour dates and all the upcoming news, etc.
Great. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us, and we look forward to seeing you here on the 16th.
Thanks so much, Stacey.
This weekend, we get to celebrate Mom. Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday, and if you're still looking for that perfect gift, why not make her a gift? The Lloydminster Museum and Archives is hosting a Mother's Day family bracelet class tomorrow. That's going to be led by talented local jewelry artist Beth Bernard, who's going to show you how to craft a special family bracelet that you can give to Mom this Mother's Day. You do need to pre-register for that class. Do that today, lloydminster.ca, and there is a cost associated with it. There is another activity where you could make something for Mom at the Lloyd Mall. Coming up tomorrow, they're teaming up with Midwest Family Connections for a planter opportunity where you make a planter and you decorate it, and then you can give it to Mom. You do need to pre-register for that as well. Just check out the Lloyd Mall website for all the details. There's a lot of different options if you want to have a fun day with your mom coming up on Sunday. Maybe you're going to head to the playground with Mom, or maybe you're going to take her to the Hillmont Hall. They're hosting a Mother's Day brunch. They'll be serving up pancakes, eggs, sausages, and more starting at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. And then on Sunday afternoon, you can take your mom out to the Mother's Day Jam. This is being held at the North Bend Hall. It gets underway at 1:30 on Sunday afternoon. Enjoy dancing on their historic wooden floor. Have a fun day out with your mom coming up on Sunday. Just imagine relaxing in your backyard in this comfortable garden swing. This garden swing is the early bird prize in the Lloydminster Legion's She Shed raffle. Someone is going to win this on Saturday. Saturday is the draw for the early bird prize, so make sure you've got your ticket. $10 each, and you can get them today and tomorrow at the Legion here in Lloydminster. And the grand prize in the She Shed raffle, that's going to be drawn for on July the 1st, and that is a She Shed valued at $10,000. Get your ticket today at the Legion. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us for this week's entertainment panel here in studio once again is the beautiful Abby St. John. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Of course, I love doing this.
Yeah, of course. I'm really excited to be able to do this once again here in studio. It's always a lot more fun, and we got some good topics on the go. And of course, us being Marvel fans, coming up this weekend, we got some exciting stuff coming up. Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. Yes. I am so excited to be able to watch this. We're planning to do this tomorrow, be able to go see it in the VIP, and I think it's going to be a great time. The ratings have been great so far from seeing just how it has come out for like that premiere for people to able to see it last night, and then going to see it tonight. And on Rotten Tomatoes, from what I saw, it was a 77% score, and then with audience, it was all the way at 89. So it almost seems like, of course, audience score. Like everybody loved it compared. And then with the box office tickets right now, it's supposed to be like right behind Spider-Man No Way Home with how many tickets have been bought so far.
Yeah, opening night internationally, they doubled what the Batman made internationally on the opening day. We know that across the world, theaters were releasing, including here in Lloydminster, was releasing it on the Thursday. So that's very exciting. That's very promising. Yeah. It's 4% behind No Way Home for their opening day international sales. Yeah. They brought in $27 million overseas just on one day alone. So that bodes well for the rest of the weekend. Yeah. They're guaranteed and projected to be #1 this weekend worldwide when it officially releases everywhere. And that's very exciting. That means, you know, it's starting to think, okay, well, Spider-Man was super successful on the first day and they're a huge grossing movie now. They made over $1 billion. I think Doctor Strange could be somewhere behind that, you know, especially since they beat out the Batman's box office sales as well. They also obliterated their sales from 2016's Doctor Strange, so that's very promising, you know, considering the first Doctor Strange was very good. And I think because his character was just being introduced in the MCU, people were a little unsure, but now he's solidified himself in the MCU with the Avengers. So I think this is going to be very promising. You know, we have the Scarlet Witch, Wanda coming back, which is exciting in itself.
So exciting.
There's going to be lots of twists and, you know, cameos, and I'm very excited to see it. And obviously, just looking at the first day alone, I think it's going to be a very high grossing movie all around the world.
I think this second one is definitely going to have so much more people going in and checking it out and seeing, of course, like you said, Scarlet Witch. I'm so excited for that after especially watching WandaVision and whatnot. So for all the WandaVision fans out there, I'm sure excited to see what happens. But I think it's going to be still very good. Going to have a good turnout even for the rest of the weekend. And I'm excited for us to see it tomorrow for sure. But now moving on, this is going to be kind of a different topic compared to, you know, Marvel and superheroes and whatnot. But there's been some talk online right now about that 90s show. Yeah. That one sounds pretty interesting because it's been talked about on social media with having Kitty and Red. All of the cast, most of it returning for this, minus, of course, Danny Masterson, obviously. And then after 15 years of anticipation, you know, everybody's super excited to see what this is going to be all about. You know, I'm super excited to see Kitty and Red back on the screen.
Yes, we got a kind of a peek at what to expect. We saw a picture of them in the iconic kitchen. You know, after that 70s show, which was a huge success, I mean, it's still a success today with it being on Netflix. And so we see that they now have a spin-off series taking place in the 90s, which I like. I like that they're doing it in the 90s instead of, you know, today in this era. I think I love that they're doing it in the 90s, which would make sense because, you know, they were, you know, teenagers in the 70s. They're going to have kids that grew up in the 90s, 80s/90s. So it makes the most sense.
Yeah, doing it right now would be like, they're way older.
Yeah,
past a lot.
Grandparents. But yes, it was confirmed that Kitty and Red are going to be back. We saw a picture of them. They're also executive producers on the show as well. And the creator of the show, Bonnie and Terry Turner, they're coming back as the series writers as well as executive producers. So that's exciting. We have the original creators of the show coming back. You know, there was a spinoff series a long time ago called That 80s Show. None of the cast really were a part of that, so it kind of fell off. It's very promising for this one. It's going to take place in 1995, back in Point Place, Wisconsin, and it's going to center around Eric and Donna's daughter, Leah, who's visiting Kitty and Red, her grandparents, during the summer, and it's going to follow a new group, a new generation of friends coming together, you know, partying, you know, getting into trouble, basically everything that Eric and Donna did with their friends. It's going to just kind of repeat, and, you know, she's going to grow up in this sense because, you know, that's kind of how that 70s show went. They grew up together and they, you know, went through all their teenage years together. And like you said, yes, the returning cast is coming back, except Danny Masterson, obviously because of his ongoing trial and arrests and stuff. But it is very exciting that we're going to see everyone else: Topher Grace, Mila Kunis, Ashton Kutcher, Laura Prepon, and Wilmer Valderrama is all coming back as their original characters, which is very exciting. There's no series release date yet. but it will be on Netflix. They're in post-production as of right now. So I'm very excited to, you know, even just to get a sneak peek with a trailer possibly. We got a couple photos, so now just waiting for that release date and the trailer to come out just to get a little sneak peek of what we can really expect.
It's gonna be interesting to see that. I'm glad to see that they are gonna be showing the future of like their kid and having like that same humor. I'm hoping having all that original cast, seeing like what their stories
their
are
lives,
looking at. Yeah,
what happened with their lives after the show ended.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be able to see that, and hopefully we'll be able to get a trailer and more information soon.
I agree.
Yeah, but that's all the time we have for now for this week's entertainment panel. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Abby.
Of course, anytime.
Ending off with taking a quick look at your 7-day forecast. We are going to be seeing a pretty beautiful weekend, I would say, coming up with 15 and 12 Saturday and Sunday with a mix of some sun and clouds. So it won't be seeing too much precipitation on the weekend, thank the Lord. And then starting off next week, we will be seeing those double digits continue on with 11 on Monday and seeing it warm up as we gradually go through the week with seeing even 18 next Wednesday and Thursday. And then we will be seeing 14 next Friday. So get ready because we will be seeing a nice week coming up here. And now, choosing our final winner of the week for our Mother's Day contest. Congratulations. Thank you, Josie, for submitting this beautiful photo. Congratulations for the $500 gift card to Sleep Country, and we will be in contact.
Thank you, Shelby, and thank you for joining us on this hour of news. You can join us again in the second hour.